Hello again. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy, and today's class is sharing files with web services. So this is a pretty simple class, and it may seem like a little bit of a no-brainer for some of you guys out there, but really, sharing files using web services is an incredibly useful tool for most businesses. Most businesses, by and large, if you ask them why they want a server, they will say so that they can share files. So people can access files internally, so on their internal network they can share files, and also so they can access their files from home. I once had a client who was paying up to $500 per month for this whole Citrix virtualization thing, and when I asked her why her company was paying $500 a month for Citrix, she said, well, we need a way in order to share files amongst ourselves. And we were told 8 years ago that this was the way to do it. So they were literally willing to pay $500 in service fees to share files. All they were doing was sharing files, but it was very important to them, and for their business they made enough money that at least until I came along, they were willing to keep shelling out all that money every month just to share files. So as technicians, as professionals, please realize most businesses only want servers to share files. That's the only reason they want a server. And so using web services to allow people to share files is an incredibly cost-effective, easy way to provide a solution, because you don't have servers that have to be fixed. You just pay the monthly fee, whatever it is, and everything just basically happens. The new web services that are available are rock solid, very dependable, and especially now that if you're in a metropolitan area, DSL and Comcast internet is so widely dispersed, people can really use these web services. In the past, many clients or many people did not have a broadband connection that was fast enough to use these web services. If you only have 756K up and down, you can share files with web services, but it might be a little slow and it might be a little tedious and it might tie things up. Now I know everymanit.com, our office here, we have a 12 megabit per second connection down and a 5 megabit per second connection up. So for us, sharing files with a web service is it's just really easy. So this class is going to be about sharing files with web services. Just follow me with this. Even if you've been in the technology field for a little while, we're going to have a little demonstration using a piece of software called DropBox. And this stuff is really cool. I mean, this didn't exist realistically about even a year ago. And so we're what? April in 2010, April of 2009, that this stuff wasn't as robust as it is today. So whether you're new or you're an old pro, stick around. I'll show you how this stuff works now, and it really is it's a great tool. So let's have a little bit of a review to make sure everybody is on the same page. So basically what happens with this web services software is you install a little application onto your computer that allows you to share your files using the web services service. So you have your computer down here, and you install just a little piece of software. It's normally like a little 3 or 4 megabyte piece of software. What happens is when you install that piece of software, that software automatically creates a folder on your computer and creates a whole set of synchronization routines to synchronize whatever is in that folder up to the servers that your web service provider has. So, you're up in the cloud, you have the cloud here, my little bad cloud, and they have computers up in this cloud, and so whatever files are sitting in that folder that was created get synchronized up to their computers that are up on the internet. So anything that goes into the folder that you have goes up into the folders that they have up there. How the synchronization process then works, or how you share files, and that is then, if you have somebody else with a computer, they then install the application. When they connect to the service, they're connecting to those computers up on the internet, and then whatever files are up on the computers on the internet get pulled down to their computer. And also, if they create files or folders inside that main folder that's being shared, those folders get synchronized up to the computers in the cloud. So basically, all it is the little application, the little piece of software creates a folder on your computer. Anything that is put into that folder gets sent up into the cloud, up into their computers, up on the internet, and then whenever anybody connects, they pull down all that information. So this is how their synchronization works. Now you can also, you can share out the files and folders to multiple people. So you could have 5 or 6 or 10 different people all sharing files and folders. Or if you're like me and you just want to share files and folders for yourself, you can have multiple computers with your account on it that synchronize all these files and folders. So like with me, I have the documents that are important for this business. I put them on the computer at work, but then they also synchronize and go all the way to my computer at home. So with a script, if I'm writing a script for one of these little videos, you know, if I'm sitting at home and go, oh, I want to put this little addition into the script and I don't want to forget about it, the scripts that I created here at the office have automatically been synchronized to my computer at home. I can just open the script there. I can make any edits I want. When I save the script, that is then synchronized up into the cloud, and then that gets synchronized back down onto the computer sitting here at the office. So that's how it works. One of the things that you have to be careful with is, remember, this is synchronization. Remember we talked in one of the previous classes about different ways of sharing files. This is synchronization. So the main copy is up on the servers. You create a copy of the original and then you edit the original. Depending on what service you use, that can mean if you have multiple people sharing the same files and folders, if they make changes at the exact same time and then try to synchronize it back up to that server computer, you may get some weird problems. A lot of the software or service providers out there have solutions for this, but just realize that this is synchronization software. The original file, the original, is up here on the internet. You then pull a copy to your computer. When you make a change to that copy, when you hit the save button, not just anywhere, when you hit the save button, that change gets synchronized up. But if you have multiple people making changes at the exact same time and they all synchronize at the same time for some reason, you could get a little quirkiness. One of the nice parts and the good functionality of having this be a web service or a web application is once you upload your files to the internet, almost all the services allow you to log into a website that they have, and then you can access any files that have been synchronized up to their service. So again, let's say I go off to a vacation in Florida. I decide to fly off, going on vacation. When I get to the place in Florida, you know, I didn't want to bring any of my computers. I didn't want to deal with any technology, none of that. Let's say I get there and for some reason I find out I need a contract or I need some specific piece of paperwork that is sitting in this web service. I can sit down at any computer down there in Florida, go to the website, log into my account and have access to all the files and folders that are sitting in their web service. So it just opens up like a little normal web browser. It shows you all your files, and if you need a file, you can just click on it, download it, and you have it. So that's one of the really nice things with these web services. Now today, when we do a demonstration, I am going to show you using a service called DropBox, D-R-O-P-B-O-X. There's a lot of services out there. I know I have a buddy of mine who doesn't like DropBox. He likes something else. Honestly, I use something called Microsoft Mesh. What you should realize is there's a lot of these services. A lot of people provide a lot of different services with extra bells and whistles. Like Microsoft Mesh not only allows you to do the synchronization of files and share files, but it also allows you to remotely connect to any of your computers that you have in this whole mesh. So that's their additional add-on. The reason I'm going to show you DropBox is one of the benefits of DropBox, unlike most of the other competitors, is not only does it have a Windows client, not only does it have a Mac client, but it also has a Linux client. So a lot of these web services out out there don't support Linux. This one actually does support Linux, so it's a pretty good thing. The other thing is that it has the most storage of any of the web services that I've seen. Most of the web services, they usually have either free or paid for versions, and they go 2 gigabytes or 5 or maybe 10. The nice thing with Dropbox is they go all the way to 100 gigs of storage. So I mean that's a robust enough amount of storage that you could actually store all the files for your company in that. If you're trying to share for an entire company on 2 gigs, that's a little small. But if you've got 100 gigs, that's something that you can really work with. Beyond that, the price is very low. I mean, the 100 gig package is only $20 a month. So if you really think about it, that's almost nothing. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Dropbox website and download the software and show you how to use this stuff. So first thing we do is we go to www.dropbox.com, and this is just their normal home page. With Dropbox, again, I think it's a 2 gig version of their software is completely free to use, and then if you need more storage beyond that, then it costs you a little money. So to show you the demonstration now, it'll be completely free, and if you just want a small way to be able to synchronize a few files, you can use Dropbox, like I say, totally for free. So all you do is you click on this big Download Dropbox button, and then save the file. Again, it's pretty small. It's like 4 megs, so it shouldn't take very long as long as you're not on dial-up connection. And we'll just double click on it and we click OK. Click Run. Again, one of the nice things with Dropbox is they actually have a product to sell. They want to sell you the 100 gig version or the 50 gig version or the other bigger gig versions, so you don't have to worry about all the crap getting installed when you install their software. So you're not going to have toolbars installed. You're not going to have weird little pop-up ads if you install the Dropbox software, because that's not how they make their money. They make their money from actually trying to sell you the service. So again, that's one of the reasons that I like Dropbox. We just click Install. And then you say, I don't have a Dropbox account. So if you have a Dropbox account, you can plug in your information. If you don't have a Dropbox account, you just do Next, and then you do Eli, and you do return 2, and let's do and then it'll ask you the computer name. So this is our demonstration computer, and then we click on Agree. So whatever the computer is, you might want to say Office, or you might want to say Home, or we have a video computer, we might say Video, but give it a name, because this is how you can tell what computer you're at when you're on their little network. And then just click Next. Then here's where they ask you. So the 2 gig version is free. The 50 gig version, I mean, that's only $10 a month, and the 100 gig version is $20 a month. For online storage, that really is inexpensive, but we'll just stay with the 2 gig version because I don't want to get charged. And then it'll now give you a little tutorial. It'll tell you this, it'll tell you that, it'll tell you the other thing. As shortcut Dropbox to finish. And now the Dropbox has been created. The default place for where this folder is in My Documents. So if you go to My Documents, you will now see My Dropbox. And here's what's in the My Dropbox. We can create a file. We'll just create this test file to show you that it gets uploaded later. So now, any files that are created or modified inside this My Dropbox folder will get synchronized up to their servers on the internet. So if you, like I said, I just created this little test.txt. You see this little check mark beside it. That means this text document was uploaded onto their servers on the internet. Now, if I have DropBox installed on my computer at home, then my computer at home will go up to the servers on the internet and then we'll pull down that test.txt. So when you create or modify a folder on your computer, that gets shot up to the internet, and then it'll go down to any other computers that have the software installed. And that's all you have to do. So now that we've seen the basic synchronization, now if we want to share a folder, so let's say we have a company and we want to share folders with different people. All we do is within this main My Dropbox folder, I create a new folder. So we'll just say test for this new folder. And then for that folder, we right click, we go down to the little Dropbox menu item, and we say share this folder. So when we do share the folder, you actually just send the message or the share to a recipient through an email, through their service. So the recipient does have to have an account with Dropbox, but as long as they have the account with Dropbox, they will be able to access the file or folder. So I'm just going to mail this to me. I have an account set up for Eli the Computer Guy, and we're going to do share this folder. So now we are actually sitting up on the Dropbox website, and it shows the sharing. It says shared folder members. You can click down here. You can email them. You can unshare this folder. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do, but you can play with all of this. So through the wonders of virtualization technology, I am playing with two computers at one time on my computer. So now we're on my Windows 7 computer, and I received this email from the other me saying that the folder was shared. So now I can click on this View Test, and if I bring that over, oops, I can now see this folder. Had the invitation a minute ago. Do I want to accept this? And I just click accept, and now I can get into that folder. Now on this Windows 7 computer, if we just bring over my little Dropbox folder, you will now see that test is here. So I can go into test. I can create another text document. So I can say test text document. Yeah, misspelled that. And now that has been uploaded onto Dropbox's web service. We can go over to my Windows XP computer. We'll just close this, quit. We can go into the Dropbox here. We go into test and see test text document. So this actually all happened completely online. So you have two people with two different accounts. They can share files and folders amongst each other, and it's that easy. So if you have a shared folder with somebody else, if you put a file into it, it will literally get replicated out that quick. All of this is really pretty simple to do. Again, don't be confused. I used something called a virtual computer to show you how this works. But basically, I have one Windows 7 computer with an Eli the Computer Guy account already set up, and then I downloaded and installed the Dropbox information program onto a Windows XP virtual computer and created an Eli the Computer Guy 2 account, and then was able to share the information back and forth. But again, I just showed you how easy this stuff is to do. So now that I've showed you this, let's go back out to real world and have a couple final thoughts. So, I mean, that's really all there is to sharing files with web services. I know it seems dirt simple, but remember, as professionals, we're here to provide the best solution to the client. So sometimes it's really insanely complicated clusters of servers within virtualization and just insane. And other times it's a little $20 a month web service that shares files for everybody. I mean, I'll try to bang it into your head like I've tried to bang it into every technician's head I've ever had the pleasure of doing business with, is try to make the solution as simple as possible. The simpler your solution is, the easier it is to fix, the happier the client is. The more complicated the whole mess is, well, then it just goes to hell really quickly, and especially if the client really doesn't need it. So, I showed you how to share files using this piece of software called DropBox. Again, don't think you have to use DropBox. DropBox, this isn't the only thing out there. There's Microsoft Mesh. There's probably 50 different ways or service providers that allow you to share files and folders using an internet connection. They all do it in their own way, and that's the thing, is they all have their own little add-ons. They have the little niceties. One thing with like I say, Microsoft Mesh, is that it allows you to remotely control your computer at work. That's really useful. DropBox doesn't have that. Or DropBox right now doesn't have a very robust set of permissions. You basically can either share or not share files and folders. You can't do the read, write, or execute permissions. So, although it has 100 gigs of space, you may be more worried about permissions, or you may be more worried about remote desktop connections. The main thing is, whatever service you're looking at, really look at the entire service and make sure the entire service is what you need. Because in the real world, you're going to be dealing with secretaries, you're going to be dealing with project managers, you're going to be dealing with bosses. And the biggest problem in technology is deploying the technology. Even if it's something as simple as installing this little application and giving a little 5-minute tutorial to everybody on how to use it. If you deploy your file sharing web service, and after it is completely deployed, you find out it doesn't do something a little bit that has to have happen, well, it's not as easy as it seems to go and find another web service and then deploy that new web service to everybody in the network. Especially if you're dealing with companies with 10 or more people, it just gets to be a real pain in the butt. So what I would say with these web services is really sit down, look at all the features, talk to the managers about the features, talk to the secretaries about the features. Anybody who is going to use a shared web service, talk to all of them. Get all of the information and then find a product that serves everybody the best. Then, once you find that product, make sure you've addressed everybody's concerns, and then if the product doesn't do something that the secretary or the assistant or the boss wants done, make sure you do that expectations management to make sure they understand what they're getting. So remember, if you are not going to be able to provide the complete solution that they want, the next thing that you have to do is bring their desire down to size. I know you want the world wrapped in gold. We can't give that to you. What we can give you is this. So just remember that with the shared services, because one service may not be good for absolutely everybody on the network. But sharing files on web services, it's incredibly easy to do now. This stuff, like I say, I swear to God, it really wasn't around 1 year ago, 2 years ago. This stuff is just popping up there. Also, when you start playing with this software, think about ways you can make it more useful, or use it outside of the box. One of the reasons why I like the DropBox software is because it has a Linux component. You can install it, of course, on a Linux file server. So you can create a really cheap little Linux file server, and then for $20 a month, have this online backup. So all the files get pushed up online, and you don't have to worry about them. So a lot of the other file backup systems out there, or internet backup systems out there, cost a lot of money. Well, this would be $20 a month, and you could have this whole system that just works like a champ. So that's something to think about. Again, I'm Eli the Computer Guy. This was just a very short and sweet class on sharing files with web services. As always, I look forward to seeing you at the next class.